Mark 2:17. On hearing this, Jesus said to them, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinner." I think many of us in our walk forget this verse and its importance. Because unfortunately, I've seen a pattern where Christians are judging other people because they're not perfect, or because they're dealing with a certain sin, or because they're hanging out with unbelievers. I think many of us are acting like the Pharisees. See, the Pharisees set themselves apart, but not in the way that Jesus calls them to. They looked at themselves as too holy and too righteous to be around other people. They put themselves on a pedestal and then judged other people. Meanwhile, Jesus, being literally God, came down from heaven and sat with sinners and didn't sin. He went to the sick and healed them. He ministered to the broken and lost. We're called to walk like him, yet we're walking like the Pharisees. And Jesus rebuked the Pharisees' hypocrisy because they were puffed up with pride. So instead of us putting ourselves on a pedestal, calling ourselves righteous and better than other people, instead of going to church and pointing out who you think shouldn't be there, love them and serve them like Jesus has called you to. Because the thing is, if it wasn't for Jesus, you would be lost too. I've seen it so much lately where we act like we saved ourselves. Here's your reminder. Jesus saved you, and Jesus can save the person that you're judging too. So how dare we sit here and pick apart God's creation? How dare we sit here and put ourselves on a pedestal that we don't deserve? How dare we push away people who are trying to seek the Lord? How dare we? This is my encouragement to you. Yes, godly community is really important, but it's important that we go out to the lost and show them the way of salvation. Because how will they know unless they are told? How will they know unless you show them with your actions Jesus' love? It says in scripture, they will know you're my disciples by the way that you love each other. So why are we not loving them? Why are we judging them instead? Because here's the thing. Christ never said, go out there and judge everyone. No, he said love your neighbor as yourself. Because the love of Christ softens hearts and brings people to the feet of Jesus. So Christians, instead of putting ourselves on a pedestal, let's serve the people that are lost, showing them the love of Christ. Because that love you show them could be the very thing that God works through to save them. So let's stop approaching people like projects. Let's stop approaching people like they're too far gone. Let's stop approaching people like you're better than them. Because the reality of it is, if it wasn't for Jesus, you would be in that dark, lost place too. So Christians, let's do a better job at loving other people. Let's do a better job at serving people. Let's walk more and more like Christ every single day. Let's direct people towards Christ by showing them the love of Christ.